it's been absolute ages since I did a video. I can only do it at night because during the day I'm busy and busy working. So the lighting is terrible. Please excuse the lighting. So I decided I would film my cat because she looks a lot better than me in this light. So, but I just wanted to talk about something that's happened recently. And well, first I want to just catch up a little bit on my life because it has been absolutely ages since I did a video. So I'm now working at a newspaper as a sub-editor. I've been working there for nearly 1.5 years. It's been absolutely hectic and stressful, but I'm grateful to have the job and to have the experience, and I hope it's going to take me places. This is Ginger, by the way. She's our old lady. She's nearly 15, and she's got diabetes and allergies and stuff, but she looks pretty happy at the moment. And I want to show you my latest deck later on, the White Newman Tarot. I haven't been buying lots of decks, but I did buy this one a couple of months ago with the money that I made from my book royalties. I don't make a lot of money from selling my books, so I decided to use the money to spoil myself on something that I really want. So anyway, I want to explain what happened to me recently in the spiritual community. So there's this lady that's in the pagan community in our city, and we became friends. I don't know how it happened, online first, and I sent her some gifts in the post because I just had a sense that she felt left out and was struggling a bit, even though she's got a very strong, forceful personality. And I heard a few bad stories about her going around in the pagan community because she calls herself a shaman, but she just joined the spiritual community. She was new to the whole pagan idea and all the practices and everything. So people were doubting, were saying, how can she call herself a shaman if she doesn't know, if she hasn't been involved in spirituality for a long time. So I was a bit wary of her, but maybe a bit judgmental based on what people were saying. But it also could have been something I was picking up with my intuition. And yet I still felt I should reach out to her and be kind to her and be friends with her. Excuse me, sorry. So anyway, we've been in contact on and off the last couple of years, and we've met at a few pagan markets. She's very out there on social media. She's a photographer, but she also is very out there with her spiritual stuff, and she's created a group called Shaman. I won't say her name. And she's always posting on this group. There's about 4,000 people in the group, but there's not a lot of interaction. Anyway, so she sometimes like sends me stuff. Like she'll do things without checking for your consent. Like she'll put you in a WhatsApp group without your consent, without asking first. or she'll, I don't know, it's hard to explain. She like crosses boundaries. So I've just accepted that's who she is, but sometimes it irritates me. So anyway, she messages me, I'd say it was about a month ago, saying do I want to do this shadow work course with her? I have done shadow work before, although the definition of shadow work is very confusing to me. Like I'm still not 100% sure what it is, like why the word shadow is used. But I know it's working on your inner stuff, especially difficult or painful stuff. So at the moment, my life is very busy and I'm not in a position to do deep shadow work. A couple of years ago, like straight after my divorce and the subsequent, like let's say 4 years after that, when I was working from home, I had a lot more time to spend going inward and working on shadow stuff, and I did a lot of work. So when she told me that she's got this shadow work course, I wasn't interested. But she was going on and on about it, and she said she wants to offer it to me for free. Now, she's done this before, where she offers something for free and then she asks you afterwards if you can write a review on social media. So immediately my suspicious senses, like antenna, went up, thinking, oh, what is her motive? Like, I think my intuition was screaming at me. Why does she want me to do this for free? And I don't want to do this. So I told her, no, I'm very busy and I don't really want to do this. But she's quite persuasive, and she pretty much persuaded me to go ahead with it. I accepted partly to appease her and partly because of curiosity. So then she started off. I'm going to open the deck and just page through some cards just to make the visual a bit more interesting. So I actually trimmed the deck very shortly after I got it, which I'm not usually brave enough to. It's a nice box to trim a new deck, but I don't like borders, and I really can't work with a deck when it has big white borders. So I trimmed it, and then I edged it just with a marker, a blue marker that matches the backs. I wish it didn't have a pit bull on the back. I don't like pit bulls. But other than that, I really like the deck. I got attacked by a pit bull. There's been a lot of instances of attacks in our country. I think it's supposed to be a pit bull, a terrier, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm sorry if you have a pit bull. I mean, it really does depend on the owner and how they train their dog. So I'm sure if you have one, you look after your dog and teach it well. Well, I hope so. Anyway, so what happened with this woman is every day, once a day, she sent me a list of about 10 questions to answer. They were all personal questions asking me about my thoughts about things, my beliefs, my opinions, my memories about certain things that have happened in my life, my emotions. I mean, they were interesting questions, and some of them were quite private, and I was wondering why she was asking. I was a bit wary, like, is she going to use these questions against me in some way? Because I don't know her that well, and to open up about private stuff with someone who isn't a qualified counsellor or psychologist or anything, it's a little bit scary. So, but I went along with it. But the problem is I have a very stressful job. Occasionally have good days like today and yesterday where I come home from work and I don't feel like a total zombie, where I just have no energy and I feel like the life has been drained out of me. Occasionally I have good days, so that's why I can do this video today. But most of the days I come home and I feel absolutely finished. And I told her this because some days I just forgot to do the questions, or I did not have the energy to sit and think deeply about stuff and type out these long things. I work on a screen all day, and I fall asleep at night almost straight after supper on the couch. So I would forget, or I just couldn't get myself to do it, and then she would keep reminding me the next day or on the same day, you haven't done the questions. So I'd apologize, and then I would catch up the next day. So after a while, she started to get a bit annoyed with me because I was skipping lots of questions. So I think it was around about day 10 or something. I said, look, I want out of this. I can't do this anymore. And she persuaded me. I can't actually remember how. She persuaded me to continue. But she's quite forceful in the way she does it. But I thought, oh well, maybe it is helping me a little bit. It's getting me to look inward and to become aware of things to a degree. Not that I'm not really aware of those things anyway. I think I'm mostly quite conscious of my emotions. Like I don't suppress them as far as I know. So I'm aware of my shadow and my difficult parts. So partly I didn't really find huge benefits in the questions. But I told her, yeah, they're helping, I'll continue. So last week, over the weekend, and at the end of last week and over the weekend, I had quite a bit of a busy time. I had a relative come and visit on Saturday, or was it Sunday? Someone I hadn't seen in over 6 months, and we had a lot of catching up to do, but it was tiring, and the whole weekend was tiring, and I cleanly forgot about her questions, which I shouldn't feel guilty or ashamed about, but she made me feel totally like bad about it, terrible about it. So I'm going to read you what she said, because I want you to get a feel of toxic positivity, of a lack of compassion for someone who's struggling. So toxic positivity is talking about, I don't know if you know what that is, where in the spiritual community, if you're not manifesting your dreams, or you're not sort of coping with the difficulties you're having in your life, then there's something wrong with you spiritually. You're not good enough spiritually. And when someone struggles with mental health or other health issues, it's toxic, because it's not meeting someone where they are at. Your spiritual path or practice is supposed to support you. It's not supposed to judge you or pull you down. So anyway, I wanted to share how our intuition is often right about things. My intuition was screaming at me about her and about this course. I didn't want to do it. But because people had spoken ill of her, I wanted to believe the best of her. And I still think she has a lot of good qualities and she's a special person. but as a spiritual leader, I don't believe that she's ready. And I actually felt Spirit saying something to me about her. Sometimes I wonder why people behave they do and or the way they do, and I often ask Spirit why, or why they did that, or why they behave a certain way, and I don't always get an answer. But with her, I got an answer. I don't know if I should share it. But anyway, I'm going to read the... Okay, so I thought by having multiple windows open on my phone, I could read the WhatsApps that she sent me and film at the same time, but no, that was not possible. So I'm going to have to just try to paraphrase what she said in the WhatsApp messages. So pretty much after she sent me those questions over the weekend and I hadn't answered, she sent me a message on Monday saying, if you're not willing to do this work, then how can you expect the universe to give you things to deliver you out of this difficult situation, because you're not willing to do the work? And how can you say that you've written these 2 books on self-love, which I gave to her, and I somehow doubt that she's read. She says, and yet you have no idea how to love yourself, because you can't even do this little bit of work, and you're always putting other people first and stuff like that. Which, okay, wait, I think she said that in the later message. Anyway, so she was quite harsh, and I'm a very sensitive soul. Because I'm a deep empath, and I'm a Pisces, and I'm very sensitive, and I don't take well to harshness. When someone is teaching me something, I like to be nurtured. So this harshness was just, no, I'm not doing this. I've been carrying on doing this thing for your benefits mostly, and just because I thought it was partly benefiting me, but in hindsight, it wasn't really showing me all that much. I knew most of the stuff about myself anyway. So I said to her, I'm out. That was the message I sent. So then I thought, oh, that was a bit cold. Maybe I should explain that I didn't forget on purpose. So I told her that I had a busy weekend because I had a visitor. And then on Monday night, I was very tired. Monday's my busiest day at work, usually. So I came home and I fell asleep straight after supper. So I told her that. And then her message to me was, and I said, be careful of toxic positivity, because it doesn't make space for people who are struggling. I like that we have the 10 of Swords as I'm saying that. So, so she messaged back. And I wanted to actually talk a little bit about toxic positivity in this video. I like that we've pulled the Hierophant, because in the spiritual community there's a lot of toxic positivity where people oh gosh, I need to take a break, just a moment. Okay, so I was talking about toxic positivity and how sometimes in the spiritual community, leaders or influencers or teachers talk about manifesting, which is all well and good. I think working on manifesting your dreams and your goals is a good thing. But they don't make space for people who are struggling, who are going through a hard time. And they expect people to just jump out of it, and they don't make space for mental illness and things like that. Because I did mention to her that I have chronic illness, which is pretty much my anxiety. If I have a really stressful day, it makes me anxious, and I also am on chronic medication for my anxiety, which makes me sleepy at times. But I didn't tell her what it was. Anyway, so she responded to my, the kitty's being so cute. Hey, Ginger. Hey, Gingy. Yeah. She gets allergies around her eyes, and then she scratches. So she responded, and her response just really knocked the air out of me. It hurt, even though I knew that she was coming from her own issues. So let me continue with the cards. So she said, I forgot. I said, if the universe is so harsh that if we're struggling to do something, and it doesn't give us those things because we're struggling, then it's a crummy universe. So she goes on to say, it's not the universe that is crummy. It's you demanding. The universe is giving and giving and giving to you, and you can't even give it one little thing. The universe brought me across your path and said that I must do this for you, and but you're not willing to give a little bit of your time every day towards it. So therefore, she says, it's not the universe that is crummy, because you're calling the universe bad names, and she goes on and on. She used the word salad. It's Kathy that's crummy. And then she said, if you're not willing to put this effort in, then you're not going to get what you want, and you're not going to get what you need, and you're not going to get better. Your sickness, and what happens when you don't get better? You die. She actually said that. You die. Wow. So, and in a way, it was a veiled threat. It was a manipulative way of making me do what she wanted me to do, to follow her agenda. And if I don't do that, then eventually I'm going to die. I don't think anxiety is going to kill me. But anyway, she didn't know that was what the problem was. Devil card, quite apt. So I said to her, so then she said, so are you willing to bear with these consequences? Are you going to quit? So I said, yes, please, I would like to leave. So she says, okay, this is your choice. It's not the universe's choice, it's your choice. You will bear the consequences. Now, please, can you leave the group so it doesn't look like I'm the one that left? So I left the group. Anyway, even though I knew it came from a place of a lack of integrity or self-love or wholeness within her, I couldn't help question myself after that. I thought maybe I do have a problem. Maybe I'm not making time enough for my spiritual practice, which I have been struggling with. But I do make time every now and again, not every day. And I thought, well, yes, I am sacrificing myself for other people, because she said that, which I think was the only thing that she said was true, is I do sometimes sacrifice myself for other people. And I think by doing this little course, I was actually doing that. So she hit the nail on the head. I was sacrificing my well-being for her ego, her spiritual ego. See, this deck has extra bonus cards, the white Newman, and I think it's the dark Newman. There's a lot of circles in the images in this deck. I love this card, it's so sweet. It's a couple of ladies, very cute. Anyway, I had a rough time. I felt quite teary. I read the message at work and then I had to sort of compose myself. And my daughter has a lot of wisdom. She's only 20. And for years now, she's always given good advice. And I don't like to ask her advice. I feel like as a parent, I shouldn't ask her advice. But she enjoys me sort of telling her when I'm down and when I have an issue. And so I sent her a message and I forwarded it all to her. And she said, no, she's being very judgmental. And by following her, that's not self-love. By continuing with her, that's not self-love. And yeah, she didn't agree with her at all. So that helped. And I thought I would do a YouTube video about it as a warning about toxic positivity, but also as a warning about spiritual leaders or teachers, and to offload on the YouTuberverse my woes, because I need to get it out and talk about it because it has been bothering me the last few days. Yeah, it just really hurts, and but it's also like eye-opening. When someone manipulates you like that, like in the beginning, they love bomb you and they make you feel special and everything. But then when you don't do what they want, they start to get angry and they manipulate you. And I think if I'd continued with her, it would have gone worse. And I don't know, maybe not, but it reminds me a little bit of a cult. I know it's not, but there's inklings of it possibly turning into something like that if she manages to become popular enough. Who knows? Yeah. So I'm going to try and keep my distance from her. I'm not going to block her because she can get quite vicious if you turn against her. But I'm just going to try and avoid her as best as possible. Yeah, let me just continue going through these cards until I'm finished the deck. It's a really beautiful deck. It's unusual. I would say I was partly disappointed with it. I don't know why. I don't know, but working with it and after I trimmed it, I'm starting to enjoy it more. Yeah. Let me move it that side. I'm useless at this. I'm really not good at making YouTube videos. The cards are very glossy. You can see they just slide, which it makes them very difficult to shuffle. I think that was one of the reasons I was disappointed. There's the Black Newman card. I like the Three of Swords, actually. I don't normally like it. There's some nudity for those that may not like that. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best, and please look after yourselves and protect yourselves from people that try to take to drain your energy and manipulate you in the spiritual community.